right, thank you very much, Georgia. In Pacifica, an autopsy is scheduled today for a pregnant woman who was mauled to death by her 2-year-old pit bull. The woman's husband came back from work and found the pit bull standing over the woman. And this is one of several high-profile cases we've seen in the Bay Area. We had Diane Whipple killed by dogs in San Francisco. We had a young toddler killed by his step-grandfather's dogs out in Concord. So we've been following these cases.
So what's the criminal liability here? We're joined by our attorney, Ivan Golde, to talk about the legal aspects of this.
Yes.
Hi, Ivan.
Hi, good morning.
So it's a terrible thing. This woman and her husband owned this dog. It turned. This is a dog, you know, you hear so often, oh, I never had problems, and then suddenly the dog attacks. So what can you do?
Well, dogs can do that. They're not human beings, and they can attack. Criminal liability only attaches if the dog is defined under the code as a dangerous dog. And that means that dog has bitten or injured someone twice within 3 years, within 36 months. If a dog just goes off and bites somebody, there's civil liability. You're liable for that dog bite, your homeowner's insurance, etc. But going to jail, you can't go to jail if your dog just turns around and bites somebody. But if you know your dog is dangerous, if it's defined as dangerous under the code, and if it kills somebody, like those 2 German Shepherds did years ago, then you can go to jail because your dog can be considered a dangerous weapon. Now, in some cities, like San Francisco, they have certain city ordinances pertaining to pit bulls. But this happened in Pacifica, Daria, and Pacifica has no city ordinances.
Is it possible that the husband in this case could be brought up on charges, or not the case because the woman who was killed was be considered owners of the dog as well?
And remember, the DA's office has discretion in a matter like this, and I don't think you would see a criminal case. And remember, this is the first time this dog has bit anyone. Okay, it's a pit bull, but a pit bull is not inherently dangerous. A poodle, a pit bull, it's a tragedy. It can happen. But to put somebody in jail for something that a dog does, you have to know, or really should have known, that that dog was like a weapon.
But let's say you know that pit bulls can be dangerous and you don't have him, properly in your yard.
That's not enough. That's not enough. A pit bull may be dangerous. A Doberman may be dangerous. A German Shepherd may be dangerous. It's a circumstantial kind of case. But in general, because you own that way, every owner, nobody would ever own a German Shepherd or a Doberman because they'd be afraid if something happened, they'd go to jail. So it has to be really known, and that means 2 bites within 36 months to go to jail.
On a lesser extent, if your dog does bite someone, you're responsible for the medical bills, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. The liability, the pain and suffering. There have been cases, I've had some cases, where a dog bites somebody and tears their face apart, blinds them in an eye, really damages them cosmetically. In that case, you are absolutely liable for medical bills, for pain and suffering. These are very serious cases. I would advise all the viewers to have homeowners insurance if they have a dog, so they're protected. You don't know what a dog's going to do. Something could happen. They could injure someone, and you are civilly liable. Civilly liable for damages. Going to jail is a much higher threshold.
All right, Ivan. Thanks for your advice there.
Be careful with